Okay, part three. So I got it all together.
Part three.
Part three. The Psalm.
Just to explain like a word means.
Well, I didn't have it all together first, baby. Psalm 90, verse 4 in the Septuagint in the Hebrew. Okay, and I couldn't find it interlinear online, so that's pretty much why I had to pause and do this. So I put it all together here. So I can drag it over. Okay. 2 Peter 3:8 says, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing." And this is pretty much the paraphrase here. That one day is with Elohim as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Okay, the top over here is the Textus Receptus, the bottom is the other. We'll look at it closely, make sure they match, make sure there's no critical errors in those. And looks like it matches to me. I don't know why that's not moving along, but pretty well a match, right? I think that is pretty well identical. So let me zoom out. So, as a interlinear translation of this, and I broke it into two parts as what we see up here, the highlighted portion and the black portion, because the highlighted portion is the paraphrase portion. So from the Ev to the beloved here is from the Ev to the beloved. So Oti is going to be where we start the paraphrase. One moreover thing not let be hidden from you, beloved. Okay? So the rest of the passage, Oti, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, Oti, Uya, whatever, all this. Okay? That one day with Elohim like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like day one. One day. I don't know if the music's too loud. Let me turn it down. It's too loud for me. I can't concentrate. Okay. Now, before we get into this parallel, verifying the text, this is Psalm 90, verse 4 from the Greek Septuagint. And I think it's actually verse 5 or 3 in the Septuagint because they use the header as one verse. But that's just the breaking down of it whenever they added the divisions. Okay, so let's see what we find in common. This is why I say it's a paraphrase. Now, one day with Elohim is like in your eyes, Elohim. So that's kind of paraphrased right there. With Elohim in your eyes. Okay? That 1,000 years. You see that in that 1,000 years in your eyes with Elohim are or like day. Okay? So, we need to find the Hebrew equivalent now because that's the original word in Hebrew. We need to find the Hebrew equivalent for this 1,000. And we could even verify day. I'm sure it's yom. Not real sure, but we can figure that out. So it's obvious he's paraphrasing what he knew to be written in the Tehillim, the songs. So I'm going to close this. I'll save it. I'm actually downloading part 2, or uploading part 2 now. There's 24 minutes remaining, and part 2 is kind of scattered. I just didn't want to leave any uncut. It'll kind of show you how I copied and pasted the text and what have you, because we go back to that. Okay, so let's look at it in the Hebrew. Elef is the word for 1,000. That is found here. Okay, 1,000 years. Shanaim or something. Shanaim, it's a conjugated plural, which is why it looks different from this. So this is the word we're looking at. What we want to identify is this a literal number, or does it mean it's a number without measure, like infinite or number without measure? Taking a while. See, it's trying to work since I'm uploading. Now, not to say that it couldn't be figurative in the expression is to say, oh, well, there's thousands of jelly beans in there, right? I mean, so it could be. So you can't count that it can't be taken figurative, at least in our language. This is looking at me funny.
What? No.
I'm talking to myself. It's really hard. If you were on the other side of the computer screen and I could talk to you like I was presenting to you, it'd make it a lot easier. But I'll get used to it. So anyway, the word is Aleph. And the translators say it means 1,000 as numeral. 1,000 in company would be a company of men, as a company of men under 1 leader of troops. King James did translate this word 505 times, 1,000 500 times, 1,100 because it came with another Hebrew word, a variant which we'd probably have to research on our own and deduct. 1,200 with another Hebrew word here. Okay, but let's just plug it into context to see if it's indeed the number 1,000. Because you can go to, and maybe we can find it, we can go to Kings or Chronicles, where the numbered sacrifices for the temple dedication, it was some really high number of rams and some really high number of bulls or something, or a type of offering. And then it says he went out to the porches to do the other ones because they were innumerable, which is the same thing we see in Revelation. So we see that the author John also gave an expression where something was without count. Okay, so Genesis 20:16, and Sarah, he said, behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. The pieces is inferred, it's not really there, that's why it's italic. Now, could that mean an innumerable amount of silver? Yes. Okay. So let's go to the next one. 24:60. And they Baruch Ribkah, and said unto her, thou our sister, be thou of thousands of millions. Okay. And let thy seed possess. And the only other, could that mean without number? It does mean without number, but then they added in another word here, and I'd have to go into that word, and I'm not going to do it. But so, okay, in this context, also, could it mean an innumerable amount, an uncountable amount? Yes, not infinite, but uncountable. So, Shemot 12:37, and the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot. So that's not a number without count. We have 600,000. Okay, so we'd see that in the book of Numbers. Let's go down to Numbers. Those were the number to them, even the tribe of Reuben were 46,500. So obviously it is a static numerical device of some sort, okay, because you get the whole number there. So I'm going to stop this one here because all I wanted to do was identify the Greek word, pull it back to Hebrew, to the original language, and verify whether or not that word is a static number or if it's a totally figurative thing to mean without number. And so what I have found out through that is that it is a literal number. Could be used figurative. So as to say in Revelation where it talks about 1,000-year reign, could it be figurative? I suppose it could be figurative. Just like there's thousands of jelly beans in the jar. He reigns for just thousands of years. It certainly doesn't mean infinite. But it could be figurative to mean infinite. But I think a different word would probably have been chosen. And then because he's the author of the same passage that says, I saw a great multitude without number, he didn't say thousands of a multitude. He said a multitude without number. So it kind of sticks out to me that that number is static. Now, in the next part, I'm just going to go into it abruptly. I mean, I've kind of looked into it a little bit already, so I don't know which pages and which sources I'm going to hit, but we're going to hit as many sources as we possibly can on both sides of the issue. And it's more than likely going to be in the Christian theological aspect. But we're going to weigh out the pros and the cons on that too and see what we come up with. So that should be interesting. I don't know what we're going to hit. We might hit some of the stuff I've already seen. It just depends on what the search pulls up. Again, I'm going to state like I did it in the very first one. I don't think anything should be taught as doctrine if it's only found in one place. Now, I haven't researched it out myself, but I've seen it, so I know there's a reign of Yahushua. Okay, so the issue in teaching is going to be, is it indeed a millennial reign? If the Tanakh doesn't tell us that it is 1,000-year complete, then everything has to be inferred. And I'm not telling you that I wouldn't personally infer that it is 1,000 years. It seems to match a lot of things in Torah, even the beginning from creation. It also matches the return of his people, matches the jubilation, matches a whole lot of things. I mean, it opens the door for a wide variety of things. So to me, the issue doesn't seem to be, is he coming back to reign and set up his kingdom? The issue is it a literal 1,000 years? But if I were to take John's word for it in Revelation, hoping that that passage is unadulterated, it looks like he's speaking of a literal reign. But that would also match the feasts, the last great day of Sukkot. But that's a whole nother ballgame. So I'm going to post this one. There'll be 3 parts, and I'm probably going to take a break and go out with Julissa, maybe. But I'll be posting, hopefully, the final portion of it. And I encourage, especially Kervin and Jeff, because y'all wanted to get into YouTube videos, I would encourage a video response of some sort. If you have anything, you can, or any of y'all. I mean, James, Rebecca, Amy, David, Bedon, Shelley, whoever, Connie, Cindy, whoever wants to upload a video response. I've allowed comments, but I've not allowed open comments. So it has to be where I allow the comment. And I'm not going to let any comments be on there. It's just, I wouldn't want someone that I don't know having a question about something, and I wouldn't be able to get back with them. So I want to know what the feedback is. But for the purpose of killing drama, I'm not going to allow anything good, bad, or neutral to appear on the comment section. I'm just not going to have any comments appear. It's just going to be the way that I go through them and read. And I shouldn't be spending a whole lot of time on that, I wouldn't think. All right. The third part of the first video series was fun. I don't even know if I'm speaking in the microphone right. If y'all can't hear me, I apologize. I'll get a better setup the more that I do. And even more cameras. And I'll find an interlinear where we can do the studies better too. All right, love y'all. See you in the next series. Shalom.